I'm filming this in the mirror today because I wanted you to see my cute Utopia of the Seas shirt that I got on our first leg of the sailing. We're doing a back-to-back, and we're going to do a video on the things you need to know about debarkation and embarkation. We're going to look at some of the pros and cons of doing the back-to-back. We did the 4-day, then 3-day. We'll talk about the differences in that. Come along on the journey. We are beginning the second leg of our back-to-back cruise today. This will be the weekend cruise, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll disembark on Monday. This process was really easy. What we had to do was to just keep our bags in our room because we had already booked the same room for this particular cruise, and that turned out to be wonderful. If you don't get the same room for your back-to-back, you have to pack everything up. Now, the cabin stewards will move it to your new room, so that's a big perk, but it was nice not to have to worry about packing and unpacking and getting settled into a new space. What we had to do was to be down to the Deck 5 dining room by 8:45. In the main dining room, we picked up a little packet that has our new key cards in it. The new key card has a little dot on it. That helps you to see which one was your old card and which one was your new card. Keeps you from accidentally trying to use the wrong one as you get off the ship. You do have to keep your old key card though, because you will need that as you exit the ship for the last time. Then you don't need it anymore and you'll be using your new key card the rest of the time. Once all of the other guests have gotten off the ship, then they walk all of us down to immigration. And you're not allowed to take pictures down there, but it was a very simple process. We just walked up to the facial recognition spot. It checked a picture of us, and I guess there is such wonderful technology that matches it to your passport. Once we did that, they just walked us right back onto the ship. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as they say, and we were able to come back to our cabin. The cabin steward had said it's fine to open these doors in the hallway that are normally closed so you can come back in, drop things off at your cabin. We could probably have stayed in our cabin because it was already clean, but we're going to find a nice little spot to people watch today as other people are embarking the ship. Okay, let's talk about the differences of the 3-day and 4-day sailings and back-to-back, and which one I think is better. We did the 4-day sailing first and then the 3-day one, and I was able to discover a few things. Number one, the shows are exactly the same, with the exception of the Name That Tune production show, which was only offered during the 4-day sailing. The other things were all exactly the same. The amazing ice skating show, the incredible high diving aqua show, the all-in production show, and the comedy club all were the same. The 4-day sailing gives you the opportunity to see one main show a night with a little bit of strategic planning. You do have to use your high school math logic skills to decide when different shows are offered and how you can get them all in. But with some planning, you can make this successful and still make it to some of the live music venues that are going on around the ship in the evening as well. For instance, I could see All In on Monday, the Aqua Show on Tuesday, the Comedy on Wednesday, and the Ice Show on Thursday. And if I also wanted to do the Name That Tune production show, I could see it at 7 and still make the 10 o'clock Ice Show. Your schedule may vary from the one we had, but if you have the same itinerary, where we went to Nassau and then had a sea day and then went to Coco Cay, it is a very good chance your show schedule will line up just exactly like mine. On the 3-day sailing, if you want to see all of the shows, you will have to schedule at least one night where you're doing 2 shows. Friday, we could schedule the ice show at 7 with the aqua show at 10:30 the same night. Then on Saturday, the all-in production show and the comedy show on Sunday. If you're doing a back-to-back, you could try to schedule all the shows in on the first leg and then choose if you want to go back and see some of them again on the second leg, or you could spread them out so that you make your show schedule not quite so hectically packed. Number 2, The nighttime theme parties are exactly the same, although I did see another YouTuber suggest that the music was varied on the different pool parties and theme parties. So when they did the back-to-back, it was the same theme, but not necessarily the exact same music. There is a silent toga party in the solarium, a red night nightclub in Studio B, and a one-hit wonders street party in the promenade. The cruise director told me that the party vibe is livelier on the 3-night sailing. She said that they typically have more sorority and fraternity groups or bachelor and bachelorette parties, as well as reunion groups that tend to come to the 3-day sailings. And so typically they are a little louder, they're more well attended, and the party atmosphere is higher on those weekends. She said that typically is the way it goes. Now, I didn't do any of the parties myself. 10:30 at night is just a little late for me partying, but if you are not a party pooper like I am, I think you could enjoy those parties the first leg of your sailing and then know what to expect on the second leg to make it even better, or could even spread it out so you don't have quite so many really late nights in a row. But I also saw even more families with babies on this particular weekend that we were on board. And I guess it makes sense that a lot of people can get away for a quick weekend, whereas on the 4-day sailing, being Monday through Friday, you are likely going to have to take off the full week to make that happen, unless you just live right there. Number 3, the menus are exactly the same. There is an embarkation day menu, there is a Caribbean night menu, and there is a Bon Voyage menu in the dining room on each night. On the 4-day sailing, they also have a French menu, so you won't get the French menu on the 3-day. If you're doing back-to-back, that means then that you're going to have the same menus both weeks. The good thing about that is there are always more items on a menu that I find interesting, so I could easily pick out alternate items on the second leg of the trip, or even reorder something that I thought was especially delicious. Or you could do some specialty restaurants, or even go all in for the ultimate dining package. I have another full video dedicated to the menus in the main dining room versus the buffet, so make sure you check that one out. And while I'm thinking about it, if you will like this video, if you have found anything helpful so far, put a comment below. Both of those things really help my channel. And if you would like to be really helpful, you can subscribe to my channel, and then you will be able to find my other videos very easily. Number 4, the ports are exactly the same. We go to Nassau and to Coco Cay. On the 3-day sailing, that's it. You just leave Orlando, you're in Nassau one day, Coco Cay the next day, and you're back to Orlando on that Monday. If you have the 4-day sailing, you do get a sea day in between there. So it's nice to have a sea day to enjoy the ship. Otherwise, on the 3-day sailing, you really don't get a lot of opportunity just to enjoy the ship for a day. Now, if you're on 7-day sailing, that may seem a little repetitive to you. Of course, I can do a beach day twice in a week and be just very happy with that. And of course, if you don't get off the ship because of bad weather one day, the chances are good that the next leg of the trip you will get to experience the port. Nassau, on the other hand, if you have cruised a lot and have cruised in the Bahamas, you have likely been to Nassau, and people who are avid cruisers have been to Nassau multiple times. If you've never been to Nassau or have only been there a time or two, you can still find plenty to do, and you can find a beach day there in Nassau as well. A lot of people like to stay on board during Nassau so that they could have a spa day at a discounted rate, or that you can use the pool where it's a lot less crowded, or the sports court, or some of those activities when the crowds are down. We found a lot of people staying on board during Nassau, so I have a feeling a lot of people were back-to-back sailors or had been to that port multiple times. Number 5, the ship is exactly the same. And I know that seems a little silly to say that the ship is the same, but that's a good thing, because a 3-day sailing really doesn't give you an opportunity to enjoy the ship. If you're going on a 4-day sailing, like I said earlier, you do have that sea day to help you enjoy the ship. But getting to enjoy the ship over 7 full days gives you a much better experience of seeing everything, going a little calmer, enjoying all the different amenities that you can find on the beautiful ship. So what's my conclusion? Is the 3-day better? Is the 4-day better? Or is it better to book a back-to-back? Well, I know some people really want to try a very short sailing for their first sailing, and they might want that weekend to make sure they're not going to be seasick, that they like the experience, and that's okay. I think the 4-day would be the better option for people who have never cruised before, because you do get that extra sea day where you can enjoy the ship as well, and it doesn't feel like you're on and suddenly you have to leave again. The back-to-back, while I did enjoy that experience, I think I would prefer a 7-day itinerary on a ship rather than back-to-back on the same ship for just 7 days. The turnaround day just did not do the same as having your normal port day or sea day. And not having a variety of different ports and multiple sea days, that's just not as enjoyable to me as it is to have just a 7-day cruise. But either way, I did enjoy my time on the Utopia of the Seas. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.